So we are now at day 87 and it is Thursday, just finished work. So I thought I'd do a little update, story time, catch us all up. So as you just saw, I got a kayak. I got it last weekend. It's actually the reason why I got up so early to go to Verona. I went to Frontenac Outfitters, that's not too far from my parents' place, and picked up my kayak. I am absolutely in love with it. Another thing that sucks is Frontenac Outfitters was sold out of paddles. So I still am waiting for those to come in. Kate and I knew we wanted to go kayaking together, and luckily she had an extra one, so she lent it to me and actually said that I can keep it until I'm able to get one of my own, which is so nice of her. So I'm absolutely in love with that kayak. So was my mom. As you saw, Crystal and I went paddleboarding on Saturday, and then Sunday Kate and I met, we went kayaking, and then my mom and Crystal joined us. My mom jumped in the kayak and I jumped in my paddleboard, and Crystal joined us on her paddleboard, and it was just so perfect. I actually spent about 6 hours out on the water between Saturday and Sunday last weekend, and it was so amazing. On the way home, Conan and I stopped in at one of the locks where Jesse was working, and I put my paddleboard in there, and Conan and I went for a quick little half an hour tour, so it was perfect. Now, like I mentioned in my last vlog, our paddleboard on Saturday was the most eventful paddle I've probably ever been on thus far. We went in a creek that's behind my aunt and uncle's place that goes into a lake, and we just thought, you know, it'll be such a cool, perfect little paddle. Crystal brought her dog Kaya because she's really good on a paddleboard, just like Conan. I almost brought Conan, but I still can't stand up when I'm with him because he moves around so much. And Crystal's paddleboard is quite a bit bigger. It's actually an inflatable one, so it is actually better for dogs. So I left Conan, which ended up being a good thing. We were literally like 5 minutes into our paddle when suddenly Kaya jumped in. And all of a sudden about 20 geese, with 2 families and all their goslings, came out from the shore into the water.
Oh no! Oh no! Kaya!
And Kaya's in pursuit of them.
Kaya, what's this?
And the babies still can't fly, so Crystal and I are panicking.
I'll cut her off.
We shoot off as fast as possible. I get ahead of Kaya, cut her off kind of in front of a tree that has fallen and is just in the water. Kaya gets up on the tree, runs across the back of my paddleboard, and launches herself towards the geese again.
I don't think the babies can fly yet. No, I know, I just realized that.
So Crystal and I are in pursuit again. Crystal's closer this time. Crystal gets Kaya up on her paddleboard.
Keep going,
Kaya knocks both of them off, so they both fall in the creek.
Oh! I know. Hey. Why did I bring her?
Then I'm in pursuit of Kaya again. I get her up on my paddleboard and she launches herself off the front. And then finally Crystal catches her for good, but she has to hold on to her. She can't paddle at all.
Well, I got like little pieces of that.
Because she just has to hold Kaya until we can get past all these geese who are swimming upstream. So what we ended up doing is I took my leash that was strapped around my ankle that connects me to my paddleboard and I attached it to the front of hers so she could just hold Kaya with both hands and I paddled us both past all the geese.
What if you hold her and I give you my thing and you hold on to it and I pull us past?
After that, it was pretty much amazing. We were so glad that she didn't end up catching the geese. We avoided that happening. Crystal did fall in one more time with Kaya, but still, like, that's not a big deal. It's actually really easy to get dogs back up on the paddleboard. I learned, which gives me a lot more confidence when I'm going with Conan. Kaya's quite a bit bigger, so I easily know that I can lift Conan on my paddleboard if he falls off. So, you know, at least that was good. I've learned that. And then, coming back, we figured the geese would still be in there, and they were, but we saw them far enough in advance that I kind of tried to stay in between, and Crystal just held on to Kaya.
I'm just gonna stay farther than this side. Idiot, do not, there's so many of them.
I know.
Oh my god, they all came back together. Okay, they're gonna go across. Idiot!
I was hoping they'd stay there. They're gonna be on either side because
I know, they just made it way worse. Asking to be eaten there, idiot.
And paddled with one arm. We finally got past and we thought, okay, we're in the clear. Crystal stands up on her paddleboard.
that should be all of them.
And I noticed a family of ducks sitting on a rock, and Kaya also noticed them, and I could tell Kaya was just about to leap, so I had to yell at Crystal.
Oh, now there's ducks. She sees ducks. To the left.
Motherfucker! No!
So Crystal was able to grab her, and we avoided that too. So it was so eventful. Hilarious now. Nobody got hurt. No animals got injured. But it was crazy. Probably not a good place to take dogs because there is so much wildlife when you're in that creek. It's amazing and beautiful to paddle through. Super calm, it's like glass, but lots of wildlife. So I brought my paddleboard back with me, but my kayak is still in Verona. I'm hoping to get it this weekend, and I'm also hoping paddles will be in so I can buy one. We'll see. Updates around the house. I finally strung up my ivies that are outside so they'll start to wrap around. My driftwood, so far they seem to be surviving out there. I wasn't sure. It was an experiment because they're getting some direct sun, but so far the leaves aren't burning or anything, so that is good. I can't wait till they're actually wrapping, which should happen now that I've finally tied them up. The hummingbird feeder that I showed you last weekend, since I've added it, the red squirrels have now figured out how they could get onto my bird feeder, which beforehand they could not access because it was just too high and too far away from anything. But now they've learned that they can climb the side of our house, jump onto the hummingbird feeder, and then jump on to my bird feeder. So I think I'm gonna have to figure out something else there. They're the only things that can get there, like the chipmunks can't, the black squirrels, the gray squirrels, but red squirrels, they're little acrobats, like they are crazy. Also, my dad finished my plant stand and I'm so stoked about it. It is so awesome. Yet again, I still have to string up my two plants to wrap around the horns, hoping to do that this weekend. But so far, I've decided I'm gonna do an ivy on one side and my philodendron Brazil on the other and see how they end up looking, because they're already like, they'll be pretty close to actually touching once I string them up. So super stoked that I have that. Yeah, that is my update on day 87. Still working from home, probably still working from home for a long time. Ontario is now on stage 2 of reopening, so lots more are reopening. So the library can now kind of open in this stage, although we haven't made any announcements. From what I'm aware of, there's been no decisions yet on that, but it's still only open for computer access and pickup. So still very low staffed and small amounts of people in the branches at a time. So I don't know when that's gonna start happening. So yeah, day 87. So it is day 89. It's almost 12, I think. And Conan and I are just about to head to Verona once again. I'm picking up my kayak and bringing it home with me today, but gonna go out for a little paddle with Kate before we head home. He's gonna come with me. Gonna get. But first, I have to make a quick stop at Home Hardware because the bird bath that I ordered is in, so I'm super stoked to get that set up later. Gonna pick that up on my way through, and I might stop and get a coffee and drop it off to Jessie as well. So, time to get going. Once again, a little later than I had originally planned, but we're here and we're doing it. Right, Conan? You ready? Oh, maybe you'll get a Timbit. Still out in my kayak. Been out for 3 hours now, just about to head back in, not too far from the dock right now. So dropped off Kate at her father-in-law's place. That's where she keeps her kayak, and it's great because it's actually connected to the creek where my aunt and uncle live, so it's super easy for us to get to. It's like a 15-minute paddle to get there. So yeah, it's been a beautiful day. I got here later than I'd planned, so I'm here later than I planned. So I gotta go back, load this up in Jessie's truck, and then head home in time to start cooking supper. It's such a beautiful day. So it is now day 90. It is Sunday. I'm just at home today, planning on doing some stuff outside. Friday was Jesse's day off, so he got the pressure washer out and actually pressure washed our deck. And I cannot believe the difference it made. It's like a brand new deck. It's a color I didn't even know this deck once was. So the next phase of deck restoration is we're planning on staining it. We still have to pick a color and everything, but it's crazy how different it already looks. I was hoping to be out sooner. It's like 12:30, but there was a bit of a snag in the morning. I went downstairs to do my workout, and the front of my yoga mat was soaking wet, and my dinosaur rug underneath was just as soaking wet. And so the morning has been trying to figure out where this leak is coming from. My guess, it's the dishwasher. I'm actually currently running the dishwasher right now because I've run the sink, and you know, Jessie and I both showered and there hasn't been a difference in the area. So the dishwasher is right below it. So I'm just doing a quick rinse to see if that's where the leak is coming from. So that's annoying. Luckily my parents are coming over later today to pick up some equipment that I borrowed and to help me with a little bit of landscaping. So my dad, you know, will take a look and hopefully we'll get that sorted out. So right now, I think I'm gonna get outside because I picked up my bird bath and I'm gonna put it together and get it in its little spot. I'm super excited about that. Oh, there's a cowbird. That's the first time we've had a cowbird at the feeder this year. No, the birds always distracted me. Also, the red squirrels have a new technique of trying to get to the bird feeder. They still haven't succeeded this way, but they've been trying to scale the screen to jump over to it, but usually the patio door is halfway shut, so they just get caught in between and then are like scurrying around on the screen. Which kind of reminds me of Mario, you know, the castles, when you're climbing the fences and you've got the turtles on the other side. But yeah, that's new. So update on the day, just finished cutting the side yard. The front yard I still can't cut because of the grass seed that I put down. Gotta wait for it to grow a little bit more. I have started to put everything back on the deck, everything that I could carry myself. Borderline could carry that myself. This thing is heavy. It was very tricky. Barely made it. Still drying the stuff that was soaked in the basement from earlier. Added my little bird bath, which I'm obsessed with. And my parents are probably on their way now, and I think they're gonna help me rototill down in front of this back bed. You can see I already kind of did some. The goal is to just get rid of weeds, put down some new soil, and then plant some grass seed and hope that we can get some nice grass growing there. But the rototiller is heavy and tough, so my dad's gonna help me a bit. I might attempt to do a little bit more if I can get it going before they get here. Then gonna kind of get rid of the rest of that, plant some grass seed, and sort of plot out where we're gonna put some patio stones down. Don't remember if I mentioned that that's a new plan, but yeah, we're gonna tiny little area of patio stones there, and then hopefully grass. It'll look a lot nicer than just weeds. Also level it out because it's so lumpy and bumpy and holy back there. So that's the next task for the day.